I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off. I didn't know I was gonna pull that off either though. And I did. The right guys on the job, I guess. I'm nervous, dude. Like my stomach is just like I'm turning, and just, this is my take on an American classic. A Jeep, an off-road Jeep. Like when most people picture that, they don't picture what I'm about to do. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like I'm gonna have a blast with it no matter what, because at the end of it, at least I got something I can drive and, you know, kind of do hood rat stuff with. But who knows how it's gonna show. This is one of those things that could go over really well, or a lot of people are like, what in the world are you smoking, dude? But that's kind of what we're going for here. Oh, hey everybody. I am just getting the last Hot Wheels car unstrapped from our Wyotech Hall of Fame adventure last episode, and it is time to really lock down on this Hot Wheels chase this year. I know I've been building up for the Bug Eye, but I just can't land the funding to do the Bug Eye right, so I'm back to the drawing board. We're gonna go back here tonight. Much like last year, I had a celestial anomaly happen with the eclipse that I ended up coming up with that Izetta RV. And I mean, that ridiculous idea that came up on that piece of cardboard that I drew last year during the eclipse led to a finale. And it led to a finale in a style of car that I'm really proud that I built, an art car. I am an artist. Doing sculptures now, I'm really getting to show the side of me that I want everybody to know. And H-Gas's rule set and just my want to do more. I want more extreme, I want wilder. If I'm doing a race car, I like the six offender, I like the banana hammock, you know, I like my wild micro monsters that I was building. I had to tame it a little too much to get an H-Gas, so maybe it's just not time for us to do that right now. Because I want that Bug Eye to be some radical car that I need another 20 grand to make happen, and couldn't do it this year. So I think what we should do is let's go back here. Sun's going down. The celestial anomaly this year is a strawberry moon that's gonna hit at like 3 o'clock this morning. I don't understand what is pulling all the strings in this universe, but I feel like I'm attached to it somehow. I do feel super inspired right now to go in there and draw something cool.
Yeah.
Every time I need to get going on something, there's a celestial anomaly that happens that is keeping me going. So, I don't know, I just feel like I'm, for the first time in a long time, where I'm supposed to be. Over the past couple years, if there is a downtime to where things get negative, sad, and I mean, not just no fun, but misery happens, is when it gets cold. I got snowed in here this winter, we got locked up, and I had no way to get out. So I'm thinking about dreaming up some kind of like winter idea. But on this episode, I'm figuring out what happens in the next 100 days. Today is June 10th. It's June 10th, 8:51 in the evening, for anybody that wants to know. And I don't know what I'm building. And I have to have it done September 20th in Las Vegas. But I think this is what gives me the opportunity to show what I'm truly made of. You know, what kind of legend I am. The last couple years, I've got beat by cars and teams that are from a way different walk of life than me. And I'm not changing that. I'm proud of who I am and what I do, and I'm gonna stand on that. So I need to build another cast member that fits into the aesthetic that I've gone for. And last year I did steer off a little bit to try to please Hot Wheels by doing the little RV, but it added into a camping situation that has changed our life. And I love it. I absolutely love the little RV. I don't regret doing that a bit, but I'm not Izetta. I'm not going the Izetta route again. I don't want to do that. I'm not feeling that. I want to show a different side of me completely that fits into this stuff. Time for a Chilly Willy.
Shaking up a game. If we lose a hand, I bet I'll know just who's to blame. But if we hit 21, if we make that call, bet I sit here in my chair just feeling 10 feet tall. Well, we're caught up in the
I got the chassis done, and I got a tonneau cover made for that little body, and it's all JB welded on, so I'm gonna go get some sleep. We have a photo shoot at Hardy Lake today, and I'm gonna pack up my little project there and finish it over at the campground. Have a good day, everybody.
1, 2, ready. For so long I have no memory of falling. So long now it feels that we have never been apart. I hear you have a world away, but know for whom you're calling. I'd have said this years ago if I'd known where to start. Oh, now still beat steady, this heart I handed you for free. Should you ever need a thing, it won't be hard to find me. Standing at the ready with the dancer do still left in me. Wager that it won't appear that I forgot who brought me.
Metal flake helmet.
Tore the place asunder. You left the party early. Looked at me through tears as if a lost and lonely child. Your status suits you well. Do not think that you can.
When I was on my way to be inducted into the WyoTech Hall of Fame, I would have told you right then that we were coming home to build a Bug-Eye Sprite for Hot Wheels. I don't know what it was about that trip that just made me not want to do that, but seeing that tag of know your brand everywhere, that's kind of WyoTech's motto, just really made me think that whole idea is more of a Sega brand than it is a paper to pavement brand. And every year with this Hot Wheels chase, I've got a little crazier and crazier, and as the weekend went on, I was almost feeling worse about the plans I had to come home to. And then by the time Trent got there, landed, I told him about a little Jeep project that Darian from White Trash Custom and Fab on YouTube, he had this little Jeep project sitting in his yard, and he told me that $50 would take it. So I just thought of this wild little idea of a snowmobile powered Jeep called the Chilly Willy. And just the idea of that name alone, I'm more interested in doing whatever that turns into than I am the Bug-Eye right now. And when we were sitting at that banquet hall table, it was Trent and JD Mathis, which is Jim Mathis, the owner of WyoTech's son, and he's a real stoic guy. And I told him about this Jeep project, and I said, Chilly Willy, and he said, I don't understand the name. And I was like, well, I'm gonna do snowmobile powered. And he got a big smile on his face. And I don't know what it was about that kind of moment that just clicked into me that was like, this is a car that can exist and move people from a lot of different lifestyles. And it speaks not for kind of what I want to be, like the Izettas have in the past. That's my favorite car. I love Steve Urkel. That's Steve Urkel's car, really. And I've got to accept that. And no matter what I want to be in this world, I kind of have to accept what I am. And that is a off-road American legend. And what's more off-road American legend than the Willies? So we get home from the Hall of Fame, and I get settled in here, and my buddy Darian comes over and brings this Jeep body. And I don't expect it to be the nicest Jeep body in the world. All I really need is a cowl. If I have a nice cowl and have some fenders to start with, it kind of gives me a shape of at least some measurements I can take to dream this thing into reality. Oh my gosh, dude. I think this has got every body line I need to pull off of too, don't it? It's little too, ain't it?
Small.
Like they're little. I can taper this really, really easy. Because once all this is cut out and this is tapered in, like I can make a new one of these really, really easy.
Yeah, you can taper in here too.
Uh-huh.
You can just take this body line here where it originally tapered out.
And just go back.
Taper it back.
I like it a lot.
Didn't have a reason, except for the self-truth. It's time to play the show and time to let go of the heartache we're going through. Didn't mean to hurt you, I don't wanna make you cry. It ain't the hardest thing that I've done, but it sure keeps me up at night. I'm better in the country, my heart looking for a home. I should've known better, shouldn't have let her into a love so cold. Now she's sad and lonely, there's been better times. Links back to that so-called love, tears fall from her eyes. I don't know why I'm the way I am. All my life I've been a stubborn man.
$50, we got a deal?
What a deal.
Thanks, bro. Yeah. Okay, I'm $50 in the hole in this project. Let's build a legend. Because I've never been around a Jeep before. I've never seen a Willys. I've never seen a snowmobile in real life. I've seen them on TV. I know Trent's got some buddies that has been in the X Games with him. I've watched plenty of those videos, but that doesn't do me any good on this side of the screen with my tape measure. So on the paper side of this project, it's all guessing. And it's all just this dream of a name that I want to turn into something. And I'm locked in on Chilly Willy. I want to do a snowmobile powered Jeep. And the only reason I want to go snowmobile powered is because it's June and snowmobiles are the cheapest thing on Facebook Marketplace. So I know that I can get a snowmobile for under $500. And if I get a snowmobile and strap it in this thing, I'm gonna have something that will at least get attention. So I'm ready to start mocking this body up and getting it set into what kind of machine I'm actually gonna build. And I'm telling you, man, I don't have good enough reference for even measurements. I don't know what's square on this. I don't know what angles any of this body's supposed to be at. It's been tossed around from owner to owner for the last probably 40 or 50 years. So I need a good reference point to know where I can buck mine up and say, okay, this is what measurement we will start with. And luckily, Trent was making a run up to Pennsylvania to Eagles Mirror Car Museum. They're having a little meet, and they were nice enough to let me kind of jump behind the rope and pull some measurements off of a Jeep they had there in the museum.
And that was a big day for me too, because I've always wanted you to go out there from the years of, shooting their cars, for the magazine. And I think even their McMullen Roadster shares the issue 7 with your banana hammock. So I always felt like it was a meant to be place for you to visit, even though a lot of the stuff is factory or there's some stuff that's modified. But I just knew one day that if you got to walk around and see some of their stuff that they have on their kind of like under 100 car display in person, even though they have like 600 cars, but I figured whatever combination they would have inside that museum, you can find something to spark an idea. If it was the Jeeps, or even we're in talks right now with them to getting some content with you driving their Izetta that they have in person, which you got to sit in thanks to Andy. And then when you had this Jeep idea, I was like, man, if I can just get him to Eagles Mirror, enjoy that little town, and be like, I promise it's worth a 9-hour drive from Indiana to go there, especially for your brain and your creativity.
We've been looking for a reason to jump me into a trip up to Eagles Mirror for a long time, but the timeline always works out to where I'm in the middle of a thrash session. But this time it all stars aligned, and I got to go up there and it worked out perfect. I'd never been to a cruise-in that had airplanes landed. Like, the fact that these are two completely different walks of life, because I'm crawling in from a gravel road all these miles away, and here these rich guys are flying in from the sky to share the same kind of ice cream. It's kind of fun. But I walk around the museum, I'm getting I almost intimidated more than inspired, because I know that what I have to come back to isn't as nice as what I'm looking at. And I don't have a lot of what a Jeep needs to be considered a Jeep. I'm missing the grill, I'm missing a windshield frame, I'm missing tailgates, hood, and I was lucky enough that they dug in their scrap pile while we were up there and found a museum quality windshield piece that they ended up sending Trent home with on his next trip up there. So they have just been wonderful to help us out on this Hot Wheels trip already, and I want to thank them a ton for opening the doors and allowing a guy like me to come in there and dig around such high quality machines. If you all are ever in the area, be sure to swing into Eaglesmere. The town is a beautiful little town. All of the people in the area are super nice. The inn that we stayed in was just gorgeous. Wonderful food downstairs at the restaurant, and then the scenery in the entire area as the cars were driving around and as the planes were flying in and out. It was really like we were kind of living in a storybook there for that weekend. And then knowing that I've got to come back home and live out this nightmare of a novel that we're about to live through the Hot Wheels Legends Tour this season in 2025 is motivating in all of the scary ways for me. But coming home to a nice park to add to the pile is getting us one step closer to the right direction.
You think that'll work for you?
Look at that, dude. Heck yeah.
Museum scrap pile right there.
Yeah, museum quality restoration piece, and our museum quality restoration piece. Yes.
What'd you say?
We've got snowmobiles on our path, man. Look at that. If I had a saw, we'd have that sign. So just like the past years, I want this to be a low budget build. I want to stick to my $5,000 plan. I think that that's something that a lot of people out in the world can figure out a way to strategize up $5,000 in 3 months of their year to do this. I think that a normal guy can pull this off, and that's who I want to represent in this, is the guys that are in their garage building things. And that has led me to trying to find parts locally here on Marketplace and just on Facebook and within social media and YouTube, and people that I can kind of build relationships with moving forward. And while I was hunting down what I thought was going to be John Deere snowmobiles, the more I dug and looked at them in person through just digging on sell ads, I ran across these two Yamaha snowmobiles, and the guy selling them was a firecracker of a dude. Billy the Kid's what I started calling him. He's an awesome guy, and he had these two Japanese bombs, and when he called them, oh, these are good Japanese bombs is how he said they were. And I was like, 276 Yamaha Japanese bombs strapped under a World War II era American war machine for my third trip to have war with the world in the Hot Wheels Legends Tour. Let's do it, dude. Let's do it. This is the one. Like, this is the idea. So I told Trent about it, and we went from John Deere to Yamaha all in half a second. We hit the road, run up there to my buddy Billy, new buddy that we met on Facebook Marketplace, hung out with him for the afternoon, and he let me shake his hand for $1,000 running and riding 2 Yamaha snowmobiles, and he said he'd load them for us.
True.
looks a little bad.
That was awesome. That is awesome.
Oh yeah, I already do. Already do, man.
Never a dull moment for sure.
Dude, it's June. You've got to creatively strategize how to dream up a Hot Wheels car. And you do it with snowmobiles to save money. I don't need a rear end, I don't need a transmission, I don't need a drive shaft, I don't need engine, I don't need transmission. I got 2 of them right here, matching mates, for $1,000 for the pair.
Let's go.
What else you getting for that, dude? The transmission for the bug eye was $4 grand. I can build this whole rig for that. Yeah! Already do, man. This is the first time I've been around snowmobiles before.
Oh, really? Oh, you're in for a fucking treat.
This is gonna be a blast, man. Hey, thanks for everything, dude.
Not a problem, man.
We'll see you.
Awesome.
Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
What you doing, Chiquita? Let's go put some clothes on. Go put clothes on. $1,000 and $1,050 in so far. Already got a runner.
Are you ready to see the snowmobiles?
What's up, guys? I got some snowmobiles.
That's a ginormous.
Right?
I don't know what something on the front. It looks like a unicorn.
Is that with the choke out?
That's what I was worried about. Those wheels are crap.
Plus the tire. They got power. That's what we need, power. Imagine them, both of them things strapped together under that Chilly Willy.
Why does the wheel come off?
Because your dad's a rough rider.
Some of them pop.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Daddy, not the wheel
Thank
pop.
you. Those tires are junk. We need to make way better.
I showed these tires just exploded. Here's the car.
All right, guys, there it is. There's my snowmobiles. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to try it too.
Get another one.
There's two.
I've got
No arguing. Perfect.
You want to say that again?
Those two machines strapped to the back of a dragster chassis is gonna be a lot of fun. They rip, dude. They got like instant power too, like you throttle it. Yeah. It's just the kind of outrageous we needed. I've got the snowmobiles in. I'm really starting to inspect the chassis and see what exactly I need out of these, because by the time I get done peeling all of the plastics and like these tins off the side, there's not gonna be a whole lot left of these things. I think that's what I'm gonna dive into now. Wish me luck. I have no clue what I'm doing, but by the end of the day, I'll know exactly what we've got to work with.
I ain't the product of a trust fund. Far as money goes, I ain't got much, but I trade my time in the hot sun for enough to get me by. My pickup's old and rusty, she rattles and stays dusty, but when Emily's there beside me, it shines, shines, shines. We got a roof to keep the rain on, a mailbox to write her name on, a 10-acre lot with a little bird dog on the front porch, garden that screen door, baking in the pancakes on the griddle, hand in hand right down the middle, life with a girl in a love that's a real McCoy, ain't bad for a good old boy.
Now 2 rafters are holding it instead of just one.
She's gracing holy blue jeans with a face made for the movies. Yeah, she beats all I ever dreamed every time she wakes me up. She's got a way of making something out of a whole lot of nothing. The honey in her loving is like money in my cup. We got a roof to keep the rain on, a mailbox to write her name on, a 10-acre lot with a little bird dog on the front porch, garden that screen door, baking in the pancakes on the griddle, hand in hand right down the middle, life with a girl in love that's a real McCoy, ain't bad for a good old
Hit the jackpot today. I put the word out that I was looking for a Jeep grill. And my buddy Leroy had one. Thank goodness. It was just about 15 miles up the road, so me and Ruthie went, grabbed that bad boy, filling in gaps, son. Okay. Grill, and I got a hood too. This hood is pretty rough, but the lettering on the side of it's good. And I guarantee you we can at least make a pattern out of it. It's the beautiful thing about these Willys is they're made just to do work. So they're real utilitarian, flat. Plus now we can see what shape it's supposed to be on the cow. While I was there, I went ahead and grabbed the tailgate he offered me. I thought if anything else, it would at least help me get the body square. So I've got every body panel I need now. The paint even matches. I had to shell out a little bit more money on those pieces than I would have liked to, but we only have $50 in the body. So I had to shell out $200 for the hood, the grill, and the tailgate, but it was one trip and it got it all figured out. So this episode has been jam-packed with parts piling. We've got some chassis stuff here already. I've got tubing already showing up, some DOM, and the rest of the cage stuff will be here in the next couple of days.
Yogi Berra, New York Yankees catcher.
I can already tell you it's gonna be a lot different than the draft. It's gonna have to be. Once I strip everything down, it's easy to see the issues I've got. Because if you look like this, where the track is, then look where where I have the driver setting. See? Which is here, where those engines are. So I have a couple options. I can move the engines back here, rerunning the drive line. I don't want to do that. I like that I can buy all these parts and pieces for this. But this track on this one's a lot closer to each other too. So like this is our first inspiration, but I think we're gonna try to outdo this. Because the way the space lands here, I really think I'm gonna end up putting those engines, like they take up pretty much the whole driver compartment. Both engines do, which makes me need to fit somewhere else. And if you look, there's no engine in the front now. So what if that driver moves here? So 2 engines in the driver compartment. And then imagine if I cut, you know, you usually see a hood scoop with a hood sticking out. Well, imagine if that's where the driver is in this, which would be awful cold up there too. I think I might have to go that route. Luckily, I have plenty more parts and pieces. This looks so cool. I love this. But it's, where's the engine in this? It would have to be in the front because look where the driver is. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where the project gets a little funky. 71 days to go, and I have my parts all cut and pieced together to where I know what I'm going for. And I'm gonna fully commit on this piece of paper to our final draft. I've got a little model kit here to use. I've got this sweet old reference guide Trent gave me. And then got everything else I need right here. I feel good, and I feel like this thing really wants to exist. So I've got the engines where I like them. I got the wheelbase where I feel good about it. Now I get to commit to the body design, like how much I'm gonna section out of this, and then what kind of like scoop stuff I'm making. Because I'd love there to be like 2 scoops over those engines behind my head. We'll figure all that out with the power of this pencil right here. We'll see what it's made of. We'll see what I'm made of. Wish me luck, everybody.
Well, some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. He'll muscle and blood will skin and bone. The mind that's weak and a bat that's strong. He'll load it 16 times and what did he get?
I hope y'all enjoyed that episode. It was fun bringing this monster to the paper portion, but on the next episode, it's gonna be full of scrap pile coach building.
to the company store.
It's fun to see what junk can be worth at Mikey's acre of earth.